Hello and welcome to the channel. If you haven't done so already, make sure to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. So we're talking about Carvana yet again. I don't understand why people continue to purchase vehicles from Carvana. It's like one of the it's it's a great idea, but the way they execute it is complete failure. And you've seen by their stock prices has plummeted. All the investors are running for the hills. Um, when it comes to purchasing a vehicle on Carvana, first of all, um, they're going to be charging way more money for their vehicles comparing to buying from a used car dealerships or buying from a private party. And another downside to it is, yeah, they give you like 7 days to try out the vehicle and do what you need to do to make sure that the car runs like it's supposed to. Or if it doesn't, you can just return it and get your money back, and they'll come and pick it up, and just wash your hands with it. And I talked about Carvana in the past before, where they have a plethora of issues with issuing people their pink slips or just paperwork's a lot of issues there, and just so many things going on with this company. So we got another one. This person bought his truck from Carvana, and it ended up being stolen. So it got impounded, and the police pretty much took it. You know, and it could have been solved so easily if they had competent people working for that company. They don't. The technicians they hire, I don't know where the hell they get them from. Because if you check the VIN numbers, they could have just checked three places for the VIN number. There's one in the window, one in the door seal, and then there's one in the engine bay. And some vehicles will actually imprint the VIN number on the transmission as well too. There's multiple places that have the VIN numbers. So I don't know why they couldn't just check all the VIN numbers, make sure everything matches before they take these cars into trade in. Somebody did literally the bare minimum. Whoever accepted this car into the lot to at Carvana should be terminated from his job because he is incompetent. That is, so you losing a lot of money from that trade in. Carvana is losing money, and the seller or the person that purchased it is losing money as well too, or losing time, especially since he modified the vehicle to his liking. He lifted it up. It looks really really nice. So let's go ahead and go to the article. Story is, don't purchase from Carvana. Don't purchase something you can't see over the internet. You are really just gambling. You are rolling the dice, and hopefully you get a good vehicle. That's exactly what you're doing when you purchase these vehicles online, comparing to purchasing from a dealership that you can go ahead, check out the car, test drive it, even bring your mechanic, make sure you can, plug in your scan tool, do some diagnostics and whatever. You can really go into in depth about figuring out like if there's anything wrong with the vehicle. You can check the VIN numbers, make sure everything matches. You can really really get in there and do your due diligence before you purchase that said vehicle, because interest rates are outrageous. So when you're buying something, you got to make sure it's legit. But anyway, enough of me rambling on about this. Let's go. All right. So here we are. A man buys car from Carvana. A year later, police show up and confiscate it from being stolen. As you can see, this guy really hooked it up, man. It looks really really nice. Now, for me, I wouldn't purchase a vehicle like this because you guys know how I feel about these kind of vehicles. They're overpriced. Nightmare with Carvana. After a year in my fixed up truck, it was impounded because the police says that it has a duplicate title. Carvana sold me a stolen truck. A Georgia man claims that Carvana sold him a stolen truck, which he apparently drove for a year before the police confiscated it. Carvana now asserts that both the company and the man were victims of a complex scheme. No, no, Carvana, you guys fucked up. You took that vehicle in as a trade-in, or somebody sold it to you guys. You should have done your due diligence. You should have ran the reports. You're doing a 150 point inspection. Obviously, you're missing the basics. Look at the VIN numbers. Make sure the VIN numbers matches. That takes like 2 fucking seconds. 2 seconds. 2 minutes. Any mechanic could, or you know what? Any mechanic that plugs in a scan tool, it automatically pops up the VIN number. You can take the VIN number that you get from the scan tool and compare it to the one that's right there on your windshield, and compare it to all the other ones that's spread around the vehicles. Because most of the times, thieves, they don't think, they do the very basic. They'll replace the one in the windshield, or they might replace 2 or 3 here. But there are certain ones that's on the frame of the vehicle that they're not going to be able to remove, you know. So it could, 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Back in September of this year, Tony Williams took to Facebook to share his predicament. He wrote that his 1500 Bighorn had been impounded due to a duplicate title issue, and he placed the blame squarely on Carvana. Yes, 100%. But if Tony had actually bought this car from CarMax or any other dealership that actually does their homework and goes extensively to check, make sure these cars are legit before they're taking it off, anybody, you know, so they don't get scammed. First of all, you wouldn't have had this issue. Or if you had your mechanic check the vehicle or check the truck, you wouldn't have this issue. So that's why, like, I like the idea of Carvana and certain other car selling, you know, services that are online, and they sell it to you, they ship it to your house, you know, you have the vehicle right there. I like that idea because we're tired of dealing with salespeople. Fucking tired. I want to just be left the fuck alone. I want to just get in there, you know, have my price ready, purchase the vehicle, and then just be done, instead of dealing with people or salespeople. That fucking terrible experience buying new cars. It's the worst. Fucking hate it. Anyways, a report from WPXI confirmed that Williams did everything right. He had a Carfax, he titled the vehicle, and had a normal plate on it. Despite that, the Ram 1500 had two different VIN numbers. See, that should have been a red flag right there. The one on the dash was a counterfeit that matched a totally different truck in a different state. Oof. As you can see, he's done some work to it, and unfortunately, that's just money that's lost. Hopefully, Carvana will do the right thing and reimburse them the cost of the truck, as well as all the work that he's done in it. Hopefully he gets all that money back. He should be entitled to get all that fucking money back. The police identified the authentic VIN number under the hood and proceeded to seize the truck from Williams. Carvana says that it's a victim too, though. Bullshit. You guys fucked up. In a statement to WPXI, in this unusual case, it's not unusual if Carvana had just done their fucking homework. It's not unusual at all. You guys would have figured that out in 2 seconds. Carvana and our customer were victims of a sophisticated criminal act. Sophisticated? They literally just put in a different VIN number. It would have taken them 2 fucking seconds. 2 fucking seconds to figure that out. 2 seconds. Match the VIN numbers. Make sure they all match. Anyway, customer experience is our top priority, and we're taking steps to make it right in this rare instance. Not really rare. Well, it happened again before. While staying aggressive in our efforts to protect future customers against bad actors. Earlier this year in March, we reported a similar incident involving Carvana, where they sold a man a stolen Maserati. Strangely, the buyer only discovered the issue 3 months after purchase, when a service center detected the problem. The question arises, If a shop can identify these issues, why does Carvana encounter difficulties doing so? That is a very great question. I'll tell you why. It's the people they have in place. They're not taking their job seriously. Because if they are, they could have figured that out in 2 seconds. It's worth noting that in both cases, Carvana gave back the purchase price of the vehicle to each and former owner. Nevertheless, there are real questions that go unanswered about the dealer. According to used car sales platform, the very first part of their 150-point inspection is verifying that the vehicle has the correct VIN plate and anti-theft labels. In the case of the Ram, a little peek at the plate under the hood would have revealed the truth that what could have been less than a 2-minute job. That's what I'm saying, man. They have these young people that's working there that's inexperienced, or people that just don't give a shit about their job that's costing the brand a shit ton of money and bad publicity, unfortunately. This could have been solved in just 2 seconds. All they had to do was just match all the VIN numbers, make sure everything matches. And another thing too of matching the VIN number that's in the engine, because the engine also has a VIN number attached to it, is so you don't make sure that somebody didn't replace that engine and then added a new VIN number to that particular engine, because it would show the VIN number, because most vehicles have the VIN numbers on their engine. So that's another way of telling too if the VIN number on the engine doesn't match on the shell of the frame of the vehicle. So 2 seconds, 2 fucking seconds. The VIN numbers are fucking everywhere. They're everywhere. But anyway, stop buying vehicles from Carvana. Either go private or go to the dealerships or go to CarMax. There's a bunch of places that you can go, and then make sure you bring your mechanic and a scan tool so you can see if there's anything wrong with the car, or if it's been reset and it's not ready to pass maintenance or whatever, simple stuff like that. But anyways, always make sure to like, subscribe if you haven't done so already. I really appreciate every single one of y'all. I'll see you in the next one.